Feeling stressed can feel really chaotic. There's loads going on and your brain is jumping from thing to thing. And so I want to ground you today. I want to center us and focus a lot on the breath. If you are practicing and have a wall nearby that you can use for a final pose, then that would be fantastic. So let's start today in a child's pose. So bring your knees as wide as the mat. And then edge your hands out in front of you, either stretching the arms long, or you could make a little cushion for your head with your hands stacked on top of each other and just place your forehead down to the mat. So either of those things, stretching the arms in front or making this little cushion. And just finding yourself in this little cocoon. I find this my number one pose to go to from feeling stressed or overwhelmed, to kind of bring me back into myself, because it just feels that it's just me in here. Kind of brings me back in. So take a really deep cleansing breath in through the nose and send it out through the mouth. And just close down the eyes if it feels comfortable to. And we're going to start by counting the breath. I'm going to keep it simple, breathing in for 4 and out for 4. And using this count to just calm us. We know what's coming next, and we've got that kind of routine, that rhythm, that structure. So just release everything that you've got in an exhale. And let's breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1, and out for 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 4, 3, 2, 1, and out for 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 4, 3, 2, 1, and out for 4, 3, 2, 1. And keep this count going in your head. Maybe it's slightly longer or shorter, depending on what feels good for you. But that's it, just keep that focus on that count and the breath in and out. You don't have to deal with anything else right now. And if that's proving really tricky, can you just keep things focused on that breath for 1 inhale or 1 exhale? Take 1 more inhale and exhale of your counted breath. And then when you next inhale, bring it all the way in and exhale to just release it out. And just take a moment to notice how you feel. If that has worked for you, if that has helped to calm, it's okay if not. It's totally normal for us all to have different things, but just noticing if it has, knowing that you can come back to this. This is something you can do. We're just going to stretch the arms long if you haven't got them already, and gaze up towards those fingertips. And can you kind of almost bring your armpits towards each other? So you're really activating those arms. Your armpits are almost trying to look at each other. Yeah, lovely. And then take your hands over to the right. Walk them over to the right, as far across as you can. And can you press the weight in your bum back to the left-hand side? So you're finding this like long stretch along the body. While your hands are over to the right, you're sending the weight and the base of the body back over to the left. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, sink your bum a little lower. Lovely. And then as you next inhale, walk your hands back to center. Bring them back in. Exhale, take them over to the left. Again, walking as far as feels good. And then allowing yourself to bow over to this side. Can you send the weight in that seat, in that bum, back to the right? Really anchoring yourself down, maybe edging that right finger or hand a little further forward. Really feeling that stretch. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, sit a little further to the right. Nice. And then walk your hands back to center. And then slowly walk your hands up towards you. Your knees are going to kind of shuffle in a little so that you're in an all fours position. Knees stacked underneath your hips, hands stacked underneath your shoulders. And let's take some cat-cow. I really want you to focus on today's practice, working with your breath for all these movements, because that can really help to kind of bring us back to the center. When we're stressed, we're often thinking of a million things, our mind going a mile a minute. So let's bring it back in. So really spread those fingers. Inhale, lower your belly, roll the shoulders back, lift the head. And then take the whole of the exhale to move your body in the other direction, pressing that spine up to the ceiling. Really press down through those hands. Take the whole inhale to drop the belly, roll the shoulders back, lift the head, and whole exhale to take it back the other way. One more time each way. Whole inhale, drops the belly, roll the shoulders back. Whole exhale, so starting that movement small, taking it all the way through. And then just bring yourself back to center. Walk those hands slightly forward in front of the shoulders, tuck your toes, and then lift your hips, downward facing dog. And take a moment here. You might want to wiggle your legs, step through your feet, wiggle your hips, anything that feels good. And take that for one more breath, so any movement that you need, maybe opening up those hips. And then can you find some stillness? So bring yourself back to that downward facing dog. Really hinge at the hips, press them high. Take a deep breath here. Exhale, sink your heels a little closer to the mat. Lovely, and then gently start to walk up towards your hands. One foot at a time, walking all the way up to the top, feet ending stacked underneath your hips, and find a fold here. Maybe grab a hold of opposite elbow and let yourself dangle. Maybe there's a bend in the knees. And then drop your elbows or your hands, if you had them crossed, tuck your chin into your chest and roll all the way up to standing. Nice, lifting your head when you rise, rolling your shoulders back. And then can you bring your arms up? Can you cross your hands so you're like clasping the back of your head, elbows wide? And let's just take a couple of rolls up and down with the breath. So as we exhale, start to close the elbows in around the head, and then tuck the chin and roll yourself all the way down. And then as you start to inhale, start to roll yourself back up. Last thing is those elbows opening, shoulders rolling back, lifting the chest. Exhale, bring the elbows in towards the face. Lower the body all the way down. And then inhale, rise yourself back up the way you came. Opening your elbows as you reach the sky. One more time. Release those elbows around the face. Tuck your chin into your chest. Fold your body all the way down. And then bring it back up. Nice. Opening the elbows for one last time and then releasing the hands all the way down. So let's move into some flow. So nice simple movements, okay? So we're thinking kind of movements that if you have done yoga before, you'll recognize, so that we can try and focus you back in. Stop you thinking about other stuff. Not challenging you too much, I guess, because that just adds then, right, to the stress. Inhale, lift your hands wide, stretch all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, send your bum back, arms wide, fold it down. Nice, inhale, hands lift to shins, find a half lift, roll shoulders back, lift the chest. Exhale, release down, step your right foot back and lower the knee. And then rise your arms all the way up And let's just move a bit with our breath. Roll those shoulders back and away from the ears. Inhale, we stay here, reaching the arms to the ceiling. And then exhale, we open the elbows, lift the chest. Cactus. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, lift the arms as little or as big as you want that cactus to be. Exhale, cactus. Lovely, and then release the hands. Bring them around that front foot. Now keep that back knee connected to the ground. We're just going to take the left knee back to join it. So straight into a half plank. Lovely, maybe you cross the feet. And then exhale, send the elbows back towards your toes as you lower yourself all the way down. Inhale, spread the fingers, roll the shoulders back, lift into a small cobra. Press those hips down to the mat. Exhale, release it down. Inhale, press up to your knees, tuck your toes, lift your hips high, downward facing dog. Lovely. Take a deep breath here. Release it all out. With any noise that feels good to you. Rise your right leg, reach it high, and exhale, step it through between the hands. And this time we're going to stand up for a moment. Lift the arms, find a high lunge. Nice. Now exhale, drop those hands back down around the foot and then walk your hands over to the left. Turn all 10 toes to the side of the mat. Make sure that your heels are stacked behind your toes or your toes are slightly in. So your toes aren't out. Your toes are either in or stacked immediately in front of those heels. You can wiggle your feet as wide as you would like them. Inhale, can you lift your fingertips? Find a little lift. And then exhale, can you fold? Send your weight forward as you fold down. We're doing lots of folds today because these can be really grounding and calming things to do. So these forward folds, releasing the body, turning all the energy back in a different direction. I think as well, they're all about coming back into yourself, aren't they? Kind of really closing in. Getting rid of what the rest of the world is trying to do. Now gently walk your hands back around your right foot as it turns back to the front of the mat. So you're lunging again towards the front, and then can you step your back foot all the way up to the front. Now bring your hands around the back of your head, wrap your elbows in towards your face, tuck your chin into your chest. And gently roll yourself all the way up, opening your elbows as you reach the ceiling. Yes. Exhale, bring your elbows back in around the face, tuck your chin, roll yourself all the way back down. Release the hands to the floor, step your left foot back and lower that knee. Finding a lunge here, reaching the arms up. Nice, relaxing your shoulders away from the ears. And let's find this flow. Inhaling, arms stay up, pointing towards the ceiling. Exhale, open the elbows. Find a cactus shape. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, elbows open. Find a cactus. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, find that cactus shape. Nice, and then lower those hands around the foot. Keep that left knee secure to the ground and take that right knee back to join it. Pressing your weight over your wrists so you're in this plank, as long and flat a spine as you can. And then take your elbows back towards your body, lower yourself down. Spread those fingers, inhale, rise to a cobra, maybe a little bigger. Whatever you feel. Exhale, release it back down. Nice. Inhale, press up to your knees, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Deep breath in here. Let it all out through the mouth. Inhale, lift your left leg. And then exhale, step it through between the hands, and let's just lift up to that high lunge just for a moment. Reach the arms high. Exhale, bring the hands down around the foot and start to walk over to the right, turning all 10 toes to the side, making sure they're in one straight line. So these toes match up to these toes. Nice. And then just letting your hands rest somewhere kind of below your chest. Inhale, can you find a lift? And then exhale, fold it down. Just release yourself down to the floor. Any kind of length that you need to be at, like bend the knees, totally okay here. Finding some sort of fold that feels good to you. If you've got a lot more space here, maybe bringing the arms, the forearms down to the mat, to the floor. But just using this as an opportunity to find that breath again. And find this like folding into yourself. One more deep breath. And then gently walk your hands back around that left foot. This time we're going to step back to our downward facing dog. And then lower the knees all the way down to the mat. Now keep your hips stacked over your knees and start to walk your arms forward. We're finding a puppy pose. So I'm walking my arms forward, my hips are staying over my knees. I'm almost pressing back through my bum as I lower my chest towards the mat. You might bring your forehead down. You might bring your chin down if you want a little extra neck stretch, but go easy. If this is really tight in the shoulders, you might take the shoulders wider. Anything that feels good. Take one more breath here. And then if you have taken those arms wider, bring them back in. Secure your forearms to the mat as you kind of glide your body over, lowering your hips down. And finding a Sphinx pose. So shoulders stacked on top of elbows, palms are flat and reaching out in front. And we're rolling the shoulders back, lifting the chest, finding a little back bend here. Pressing those hips, those feet down to the floor. Now press into the hands, lift the elbows, and then release all the way down. Nice. Now we're going to take the left arm out to the side to a T shape. My right hand is going to stay underneath my shoulder. So it's just that left arm that's out to a T. I'm going to lift the right toes up to the ceiling. And then I'm going to start to lift that knee and thigh as I take the leg all the way over. So a big old stretch for the shoulders here. You really want that left hand to be in line with the shoulder. You might bring your head to the floor. It might stay hovering, whatever feels good. And you might lift this right arm and wrap it back behind your lower back. This right foot as well, that might be hovering. That might not be on the floor, and that's cool too. Wherever it is, just an opportunity to really dig into the shoulders. And then if that right hand is wrapped behind you, gently bring it back to the floor, roll yourself onto your belly, and let's take it straight over to the other side. So left hand comes underneath your shoulder, right arm is in that half T shape, left toes lift up to the ceiling, and then you lift that thigh as you lift that leg all the way over, maybe bringing that head back down to the mat. Maybe that left foot comes down to the mat. Finding that stretch in the right shoulder. Maybe that left arm lifts up and wraps back and around. Nice deep breath here. And then if that arm is wrapped back and around, bring the left hand back. Roll yourself onto your belly. Then we're just going to bring both hands underneath the shoulders, press up to your knees, and we're going to come to a seat. a cross-legged seat. Lovely. And just feel your body sitting up tall here. Roll the shoulders back and down. And find a breath. We're going to find a particular breath here that I find really calming. And I actually work in my other job, which lots of you will know, with autistic adults in Bedfordshire, Hertfordshire, in the east of England. And there's a particular breath that's really calming for lots of the adults that I work with, but I think is so calming for so many of us because it shuts out all the noise outside, like quite literally. It's called Brahmari breath. Bee buzzing breath. There's a couple of ways that you can do this. We kind of want to block off all our senses. So the kind of traditional way is to cover the eyes like this and then use your thumbs to press into those like little bits at the side of the ear to kind of block off the noise, so you can't hear anything and you can't see anything. It's quite hefty on the arms though, so either stay here or you could just use your first fingers to plug out your ears, and it's just a little less intensive on the arms, so whatever feels good to you. So wherever you are, maybe you're covering your eyes, you've got your thumbs in those corners of the ears. You're going to take a big inhale through the nose. And your exhale is a buzz. And because you've blocked off all of your other senses, it's gonna feel crazy. Like the whole of your body is getting involved with this really cool buzzing that's like resonating around the whole of your body. Okay, so we're going to take 3 of those. If you're blocking off your ears, you won't be able to hear me so well. So do it in your own time, potentially. Take a deep inhale. 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 And then just release your hands, maybe your eyes stay closed, and take a big inhale through the nose and out through the mouth. Keeping the eyes open. I think it's such a cool breath. It really makes you feel like you're in a different world for a bit. So just, if you're like me, coming back accustomed to light and to other things. But it takes away all your other senses, right? Just allows you to hear that one sound that you're bringing through your body. Okay, the last pose that I'm going to offer you up today is legs up against the wall, because this can be super relaxing and chilled. If you've got a wall, I'm going to show you on the wall first, and if you don't have a wall available, fear not, I'll show you another option. If you have got a wall available, please be safe. Ideally not a door or anything that can move, ideally a plain wall with nothing you can hurt yourself on. And then you're going to come up to the wall side on, so like edge your hips in towards your wall. And then you're going to lie yourself down and kind of spin your bum around. So you're basically as close to the wall as you possibly can be. You might wiggle your bum in a little further. And then rest your legs against the wall. And just stay here and breathe. You could bring your arms out to the side. You could connect your hands to your chest. One hand to belly, one hand to heart. Anything that feels good. And just breathe here, maybe closing down the eyes. Relax the feet. You don't need to flex the feet or do anything with them. You don't need to have a complete straightness in your legs, but just relax everything. And you might start to feel that it gets a bit pins and needles-y in the feet. So stay here if you have got those legs up the wall. If you're looking for another option, I've got like a bolster here. You can use kind of a pillow or even a blanket. And you're just going to place it underneath your hips. So it's kind of just above my hips, my sacrum, this really flat kind of part of my back. And then I'm just going to send my legs up into the sky. And that's supporting me. So it feels a little more comfortable than just doing it on the mat. So wherever you are, legs up the wall, legs up on a bolster here. Just want you to close down the eyes and breathe. This is a great pose to do before bed, to chill you out, or just to de-stress. Just putting the body in a different way than we normally be. Allowing a sense of relaxation and kind of freedom. Take one more breath here. And then gently, if you're on the wall, gently slide yourself away. If your hips are raised, just place your feet down and then just take anything that's underneath you out from underneath you. And then just come to lie in your Shavasana, taking your legs wide, your arms wide, snuggling your shoulder blades underneath you, fingers curling towards the palms. Just come back to that counted breath. That breath, inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep this count going for as long as you would like. Maybe then letting yourself go in your Shavasana, releasing yourself completely. I am now going to leave you, however. Stay here as long as you've got to be free and still, especially if you're finding things stressful at the moment. I'd love it if you subscribed to my channel so that I can keep making cool stuff that's hopefully helpful and beneficial. And please let me know what you think of it all. Thanks so much. And I hope this has left you feeling a little less stressed. See you next time.